even more commonly known as the Yorkie. This is the 13th most common dog breed in America, as ranked by the American Kennel Association Club. We see these critters everywhere, but how much do we really know? Where did they come from? How do they differ from other dogs? How do you raise one? All of these things are things to consider when looking at their little faces, and these are some important questions I will seek to answer in the next 5 to 7 minutes with the help from the world's best assistant. This is Clifford. We just got him a couple weeks ago. We named him after Clifford the Big Red Dog because he's so teeny tiny. Right now he is only 2.5 pounds and only projected to be 5, so about twice this size. Please pass him around. I'm trying to socialize him better than our other Chihuahua dog, who is just an absolute menace. Yes. All right, so to start off the speech, I'd like to take a look into the history of the Yorkie dog. Believe it or not, they actually originated in Yorkshire. Yeah, crazy that they're called the Yorkshire Terrier, you know. They are believed to be bred by weavers and other merchants who needed them to be small enough that they could get into the cracks and get all the little rodents and all of this pesky pests. They were bred with all the smallest terriers you could find, and that is why they are so small. Around 1886, they became recognized by the English Kennel Club, and that is when they started to become a more popular dog, especially for upper-class Victorian citizens just looking for a companion. They transferred from being a working dog that catches rodents and other pests to being more of a house dog, and the rest is pretty much history. So some of the main differences between Yorkies and other dogs is, of course, their remarkably small size. They are one of the smallest dogs in general. On average, they are between 5 and 7 pounds and around 7 to 8 inches tall. So that's considerably small, especially next to a Golden Retriever or a Great Dane or any of those bigger dog breeds. They're also hyperallergenic, which means they don't shed significantly. This is one of the main reasons we got our Yorkie, Clifford, because my mom was so sick of the Chihuahua shed. Their hair is also very close to human hair, which means that it is prone to knotting and matting, and I will get into that later in the rest of the speech. They are also known to be therapy dogs. They're really good for soothing anxiety and people who have sensory issues like autism. Their silky coat can help to soothe people, especially the people who have issues with textures. And they're also very intelligent, which makes them good at picking up cues, especially when you have people who are panicking. They're able to kind of pick up on that and be able to counteract that in some ways. So how does this all work together when you're raising them? So one of the most important things about raising a small dog in general is to make sure that they are properly socialized. This was kind of a mistake that we made the first time around with Archie, our Chihuahua. We tried to get him socialized with different dogs and different people, but it just wasn't enough because you just need to socialize them so much with different types of dog breeds, different types of people, men, women, children, all different races and facial hair and all this stuff. Otherwise, they'll develop the Napoleon complex and just be absolutely terrible dogs. Yes. You also want to try and dissuade them from being a one-person dog because then they'll end up becoming defensive of that one person, and it'll be hard for them to be completely a full-rounded, socialized dog. Also, good hygiene is critical. Because of their hair, like I was mentioning earlier, they're very prone to getting knots and mats, and the closer they get to the skin, the more painful it'll be to get them groomed or to brush those knots out. It's also important for them to have good teeth because they are already so small that their teeth are prone to being chipped and the enamel just rotting them away. Just another fun fact about our other Chihuahua, Archie, he has lost all of his front teeth, even despite all of our best tries to get him to eat soft food and keep him well brushed. Dental chews and teeth brushing is a great way to keep your little dog's teeth all clean. They also have weak joints, so if they're constantly jumping on and off of furniture or having a lot of rough play on their little, wrists and elbows and all that, knees, they can end up getting hurt over time. So a lot of people like to invest in those little doggy ramps to get them on and off furniture. That is a little extreme. My family does not have any of those, but just keeping an eye on them to make sure they don't get any joint damage is super important. Also, they need a lot of sleep, especially puppies. Right now, Clifford is sleeping between something like he's sleeping less than he was than we got up at the beginning. He was sleeping for 15 to 18 hours a day, which was a lot, and not all of it is at night. So you have to wake up in the middle of the night to take him out, play with him, and all that stuff. Yes. So in conclusion, these are some of those basic and foundational things to know about getting a Yorkie. If you ever want to get one of these are some of the best things to remember. I also have some resources that you can look into if you ever want them. Knowing their original genetic design and some of the ways they differ, and also how to keep them and take care of them is really important to keep in mind when you're training them. It will be a great benefit to any person who wants to take a Yorkie as part of their family. Does anybody have any questions before we go?
How big do you think this Chihuahua or this Yorkie is going to get?
He's projected to be about 5 pounds, but that was the projected size for our Chihuahua, who's now 10 pounds. So really, I guess it depends. It's kind of hard to tell. He is pretty small though, proportionally. His paws are not huge, so who knows?
What kind of shots does he need?
So usually you want to get kind of like very typical shots, like against like parasites, rabies,
Can you be more specific?
heartworm, tapeworm, all of those shots are really important. Also, you can get COVID shots for your dog, just in case you don't want them to be a carrier of any sort of
Why would I do that?
virus. That's a really good question. Some people get really concerned about what can end up carrying COVID into your house, especially if you're taking your dog to the dog park or out in public a lot. They have an opportunity to pick up diseases, so you might want to get them a COVID shot. Not everyone wants to though, so
They have masks.
I'm yet to see a mask for a Yorkie. But
How long do they live typically?
15 to 20 years. They're very long-lasting dogs, despite their small size. But yes, they do have a long lifespan.
How often do they poop?
Just as much as a